three goals here for us. The first one is I want to help you sell more, whatever it is, whether it's boats, through products or services. I want to help make those sales easier and then make them more profitable. I truly believe that you have to be profitable in your business so you can accomplish the goals and deliver an exceptional experience and keep people involved in boating. I'm going to do that by introducing the concept of social proof, showing you some real-world examples of both positive and negative social proof, and then I'm going to give you the tools that you need to capture that and then leverage it. So hopefully these are some concepts that are basic and easy to implement for your businesses, but are going to have a lot of leverage. So, what is social proof? I think it's best described with a quick example. So let's say I get to the hotel last night and I decide, you know what, I'm going to go out and get some great seafood. Here in Newport, let's go get some great seafood. So I go down to the lobby and I run into a gentleman and he says, oh, I own a seafood restaurant here in town. It's Bob's Seafood, it's right down the way, you can walk to it and you're going to love it. Best seafood in town. And as I'm walking to the restaurant, I run into another gentleman, strike up a conversation. I say, I'm going to get some great seafood at Bob's. He said, good. You know, last time my wife and I were at Bob's, I got food poisoning. It's not great. If I was you, I would go to Bill's Seafood, right down the street, just across the way, and they have the best seafood in town. Which of those restaurants are you likely to go to? You're going to go to Bill's, yeah. And why? Because what others say about you is 10 times more powerful and persuasive than what you say about you. In the book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, I think if you're a business owner or if you're in sales and marketing, it's a must-have. It's probably on my top 5 list of best marketing and sales books that I have, and I've got a pretty extensive library. But in this book, he's got a huge section on social proof. And social proof is the concept that if you're uncertain, if you don't know what the right decision is, that what the group does is the best indicator. So that's, and he gives not just examples, but actual true experimental stories. So he's a social psychologist at Arizona State University. And this book was actually done in 1984. It's been redone, it's been a bestseller, and every couple of years he comes out with a little bit of a new version. But if you want to dig into the science of it, I recommend going to Amazon and getting that book. But here are some other examples of social proof. You've got word of mouth, client videos, which I absolutely love, and I'll show you some examples there. Written testimonials, online reviews, client photos, even McDonald's, 1 billion served. That's a form of social proof that, hey, 1 billion other people have eaten these hamburgers, so it's probably a good idea if you eat them too. Now, we all know it's not the best hamburger, but there's some social proof aspect that goes into that. Well, what does this have to do with selling sales? I put that in there. I don't know why I put a tongue twister in my presentation, but what does it have to do with selling sales? Well, if you stick with me, I think I'm gonna prove to you that social proof will help you sell more, and then it will make those sales easier, and then it'll make them more profitable if you use it. So, let me ask you, anybody in here have a strategy? You kind of know what it is now. Does anybody have a strategy on capturing social proof? Gathering testimonials? What do you ask
for testimonials from customers?
Okay. How's that work for you?
We put them on our website.
Okay, awesome. Very good. So you're using it and you're actively soliciting them for people?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you this. For the folks that didn't raise your hand, who leaves unsolicited social proof? Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's not the people we want to have leave it. It's those people that are least happy with our products and services, that are least happy with their experience with us, that scream from the mountaintops. Let me show you an example. You can see that. This is a dealer in Florida. It's a powerboat dealer in Florida. That this is a website that comes up when you search their name on the very first page of Google, and it says the Boathouse Cape Coral, Florida ripped me off. It comes up on the first page. This is when you click onto it. This is the website. My bad experience with the Boathouse of Cape Coral. Buying a boat's a big investment of time, money, and emotion. No one likes being lied to, suckered, ripped off, or otherwise made a fool. I know I don't. He goes on to tell his story about the terrible experience, how he was lied to about the number of hours on the engine, had a catastrophic failure, And then the dealer said, well, yeah, we can fix it. We'll repower it, and it's going to cost you $7,000. That's negative social proof. This guy had a bad experience, bought a URL, the Boathouse Cape Coral, Florida, or Boathouse Cape Coral. The dealer's website is Boathouse Cape Coral. He just put a "the" on it. He developed a website. This happened in 2011, October 2011. 4 years later, he's still hosting this website. It's still showing up on the first page of Google when people search for this dealership name. Do you think that makes their sales easier or harder? I mean, I would hate to be a salesperson at this place because you know 75% of the people that you talk to are going to bring it up, and the other 25% have probably seen it. But they didn't stop there. They also left a Google review. This is the same person, the same story. Take a guess whether I'd recommend it or not. For some reason, they left a 2-star review. I'm not really sure why you would give 2 stars if you went to all that, but they did. And so a lot of you may be thinking, you know what, I deal with high-end clients. They would never do that kind of thing. Well, has anybody ever seen this video? This is a gentleman that created a movie about his experience. Owner's new boat experience.
38 minutes.
Yeah, 38-minute movie. Yeah, 38 minutes. So here's how it starts. It starts like it might be a promotional video, right? Design, technology, materials, components, and human expertise are all part of Azimuth's hallmark that meet a higher standard, quality. You know, a lot of thought went into this statement, right? The owner of the company said, this is going to be great. We're going to put that out there. MarineMax. We're pleased to offer world-class services and access to any part or convenience you could possibly need or want to make your boat just the way you want it. MarineMax services. But remember, what other people say about you is 10 times more powerful and persuasive than what you say about you. In this 38-minute video, he talks about the components and material failures over a 24-month and how it was handled. 37 plus minutes of negative video view by a guy that spent, it was a 47 Azimuth, brand new, probably $1 million or so. And this guy took the time to shoot a video. He walks through the boat. If you haven't seen it, go Google it, it'll come up. 32,000 video views. Do you think somebody that's buying $1 million boat that sees this video says, you know what, I probably am not going to buy that Azimuth, and I'm probably going to go get a Sunseeker or a Sea Ray or whatever. 37 minutes. He created a movie. I mean, he goes through the boat and says, this failed, this failed. I had this issue, and the tech told me I was fine to go out. We had a trip plan. He said I was fine to go out. I got halfway through my trip. I had to pull off and pull into a marina, and they said that could have been a catastrophic failure. Your boat could have easily sank. And this is a guy just telling a story. He does it, he must have some legal consultation or something, because he does it in a way that he sticks to the exact facts of his situation. But I promise you, that has negatively impacted the sales. What others say about you is 10 times more powerful and persuasive than what you say about you. So we brokers in the room? Couple brokers. Okay, so would you rather have the commission on this $2,500 sailboat that was, looks like, washed up in a hurricane, or $25,000 sailboat? 10 times more. That's how impactful it is. So what's your online reputation? Do you know? I think Gene's the one that mentioned that you need to monitor and go out and see what your dealership or your brokerage or your business looks like to a consumer online. So I like to do a thing called an online reputation audit. It's pretty simple. Anybody want to take a look at what their company looks like? We'll do it live here. Sure. All right.
I just posted.
I know.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Google. Potentially. I've got a back end of this.
So Matt, while you're doing that,
Yep.
Is there any streamlined way to do this? Because this is one of, I do this like once a week and go
Yep.
and see how.
It really, you just got to do it yourself. I mean,
Okay.
you just go online and you search, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. When once you have that baseline, once you know what's out there, it's pretty easy to find out if there's other stuff out there. I mean, if it's recent, if it's relevant, it's going to rise to the top.
And this will pull blogs and stuff too.
What it blocks?
Blogs.
Oh, yeah, you're just searching everything. So what you're doing is you're recreating exactly what your perfect prospect is doing when they meet you for the first time or when they're searching. So what's the name of your business?
Murray, M-U-R-R-A-Y. Yacht sales. I find that you got to Google your name too, because if somebody's saying something about your personal.
Yep. Where are you at?
First one.
Oh,
Well, I'm more than one,
did
but
you hear what he said for yeah?
so,
Where are you at?
yeah, you don't have to put my, okay.
Okay, so this is an online reputation audit. It's just Google your boat business and see what's out there. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll through. The first thing I notice is that you have one review. So you have one online review, which is, we'll see what that is in just a little bit. And it's actually right here. Murray Yacht Sales is by far the most desirable yacht brokers in the Gulf Coast. So good.
Wow.
That it's a positive one.
Who is it?
Your mom.
But if there's only one, that's a thought that goes through people's minds. Like, yeah, at least his mom loves him,
Yeah. And she said
Yelp,
the
you
same
gotta
thing
review
about
on
Marine
Yelp.
Maps.
What's that?
And she said the same thing about Marine Maps.
So you've got one Yelp review. And what I would do in my reputation audit is just click into those. Once you have a baseline, and I know I've got 20 reviews. You go there and you see 20, okay, great, there's nothing new, I don't need to go any further. But you go there and you see 22, now you check them out. You know what your star rating is. So you've got a 4-star on Yelp, you had no stars on Google because you didn't have enough, and then you just sort of scroll through. And you see, and you can go, 3, 4, 5 pages deep, it's real quick. And then, you don't want to stop there though. So, brokers in New Orleans.
You gotta say Bob is going to be on stage. Or not.
Yeah, we vote. So here's what you're doing, is you're seeing how you compare to your competition. What does your competition look like? Because the researchers and evaluators are going to type in boat brokers or boats for sale, and they're going to get a more generic. So if you look, y'all know the first couple are ads, but if you look, here's your competition. You've got one review. Mayor has none, A&M has 3. This must be another.
That's me again.
Okay, so that's another location. And you can quickly tell, how do we compare? Now, here's what I want you to think about. Is if you have 20 reviews and a 5-star rating, and your competition does what your most competition does, which is nothing, you right out of the gate have a huge competitive advantage because the first impression is that, well, dang, these guys must be the best in the area. And you've got yourself, you tip the scales in your favor to get a better opportunity. So that's an online reputation audit. I suggest you do it weekly. Just, you're sitting at home watching TV, you get into the office on Monday morning, just have it on your calendar that I know every week I'm going to do this. And you're going to make sure that something like that video or that website doesn't pop up without you knowing. So what do? That was if the computer didn't work, I didn't have a volunteer. Here, this is for you, by the way.
So I use Google, Google Alerts.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a better way to do it? Is that the good?
No, Google Alerts works well. Google Alerts is you basically put in a search term and it just sends you the new stuff.
So I Google all my competition as well as me, and I get emails showing anything they did, good or bad.
That's perfect. That's a great way to do it. I still like to go into the reviews because I don't think you get prompted for the reviews unless they use your name. So, what do you do if you have a negative review? Or an experience? Because we have to remember we live in a little bit different age now where it's not the guy telling their circle of influence, their friends, about the terrible experience. They put it on the website. They make a video and 32,000 people see it. And everybody that searches your name, so not only those 32,000 see it, but they're your competitors and they're your prospects. So here's what I recommend. His first thing is do everything you can to resolve the issue. Here's the thing, is I believe you have to take your emotion out of it and make it as a business decision. and understand that an upset customer has more power today than they did 10 years ago. And you know what? If you've got to dig into your pocket to make it right, even though you know deep in your heart that they're wrong and you're right, sometimes you just have to make a smart business decision and say, chalk it up to marketing. I'm saving myself a bad review. What do you do if there's already a bad review online? If it's recent, if it's 2 years old, there's really nothing you can do about it other than number 3. But if it's recent, I recommend something like this. Respond to it, but don't get into a he said, she said kind of situation. Say something basically like this. So you write it out word for word. I apologize you had a negative experience. You can call me at this number so I can help you resolve your issue personally. Signed by the owner or the GM. Now it's important that it comes from somebody up top, not the person that they had the issue with. And you do it for 2 reasons. Is one, as time goes by, maybe they see it, maybe they respond, and you can work it out. But more likely, 2 years from now, when your prospects go online and they see that scathing review, and they see this, they say, well, you know, they tried to make it right. I don't know what came of it. If you do get it resolved, you ask your customer, hey, would you do me a favor? I don't want you to delete the review. I want you to go and just append it. Let everybody know that we talked and we resolved it and you're happy, you're somewhat happy, or man, we really did a great job and stepped up and you can't believe. And now you've just taken a negative and turned it into a huge positive. Because everybody knows you make mistakes. Everybody knows bad stuff happens. It's how you respond to it that matters. That really shows your character of your business. So, number 3 is my favorite. Is overpower it. Overpower it with positive social proof. Overpower it with just a preponderance of social proof. Always remember, what others say is 10 times more powerful and persuasive than what you say. So would you rather sell that $25,000 sailboat we saw earlier or a $250,000 sailboat? Not all social proof is equal either. More is more powerful. So a preponderance of proof is a ton of social proof. So you asked, how many testimonials do you think you have on your site?
Each broker has 2 or 3 usually in their bio.
Okay. So 2 or 3 is awesome. That's 2 or 3 more than a majority of people in the business. But 20 would be awesome. 200 would be even better. More is more powerful. You know, 1 billion served by McDonald's. The reason that's so powerful is because that number is huge. In one of the, I think it was Boat US, is like 500,000 voters served. That's impactful because it's a big number. If that was 20 voters served, nobody would care. So the more social proof you can get, the better off you're going to be. And then try to make it as specific as you can. Tell their story. Talk about the objections they overcame to invest in your product or service. And then you've got to make it believable. So somebody mentioned that was from your mom. I promise you that your prospects have that thought. If there's a review out there that says, Matt did a great job. He had great service. We love our boat. We highly recommend it. And that's the only review out there. They're thinking, Matt's mom must really love him. And that's just the nature of our world, is if you don't have a bunch of it, they think it's made up. But you can overcome that by making it very specific. Talk about the details of their story. How did they come to get in touch with you? How did they make the decision to buy? What objections did they overcome? And let me show you what I think is the most believable way to deliver a testimonial. That's not going to pop up very big, but can y'all see that?
They're talking funny.
I'll stop it there, but is that believable?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't help but realize that that's a real voted family. Their kids are acting like they're like 6 and 8 years old. They're acting like 6 and 8 years old act. If they were on camera, they're acting ridiculous. They're talking about their story. I asked the kids some questions about why they love boating. the dad talks about how he shopped other dealers. We talked through their story. Ashley mentions that they had a very low stress experience, that I didn't sell them a boat, I let them buy a boat. And the video itself makes it very believable. It's really easy to do because watch this. Would you mind doing me a favor? Can you tell everybody, introduce yourself and where we're at?
I'm Chris McClintock. I'm from U.S. Watercraft. I'm born in Rhode.
Awesome. Have you learned anything so far at the Sailor Conference?
I have learned a ton.
All right. How's Matt been as a presenter?
Fantastic. I saw the presentation with Matt and all them all day.
That's how easy it is. With 2 clicks of the button, I can put that online. I won't. Unless you give me permission.
I don't know. I lost my voice last week. It's not that yet.
But that's how easy it is to do video. Is you do a good job. I knew that she came to the second session and we had talked, so I knew that she was on board with some of the stuff I was talking about. But it can be that easy to get. It's not that difficult. So let's go back to that. So if you think about those things when you're gathering your social proof, it's going to make it even more powerful.
Matt, is there a way to get stuff taken off?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, I take that back. You can if it's truly bogus. But if it's just a bad review and you don't think you did anything wrong and they don't, the customer thinks you did, it's up there. That's.
But what about on some hotels? I've seen Yelp reviews that have been removed.
On Yelp, you can contest them,
Okay.
but it has to be a bogus one. It can't just be that you're unhappy with the review. So they're not just going to take it down because it's negative. And there's a certain benefit. I wouldn't say benefit. Don't think a negative review is the end of the world. Overpower it with a preponderance of proof. Just pile it on because now it looks more authentic. Nobody's perfect. Everybody knows that nobody's perfect. So if you had a bad experience, and if it's a reasonably recent one, you can use that. I apologize, you had a bad experience, call me as the owner. And that offsets it a little bit, but what really overpowers it is just a consistent flow of positive proof.
So maybe 20, 30, 40 to 1, they got something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because everybody knows that there's at least one jerk.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like they think your mom left that he did a great job review, if there's one negative review and there's a whole bunch of positive ones, like that guy's out to get them. Yeah. Don't think of it as the kiss of death. Just gather that I'm sorry, what's that?
Unless it's a 38-minute movie.
Well, yeah. Go watch that movie. Google Azimut and Remax, and it's disturbing.
So, when I go to a bed and breakfast and you have a great experience, they hand you a postcard saying, here, this is point by point how to get on Yelp and do it. They don't put them on the counter. They only give it to people who leave happy.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to do that, and obviously only my mother was opposed to it. But
She does love you, though, which is nice.
So how many avenues do I go? I've got Google Plus now, I've got Yelp, I've got, if you want to, you can find 5 or 6 places.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to ask one client to hit all of them, so you just kind of spread them out and say, you please go to Yelp, you please go to this. And
My preference is to house them in one place. And to me, that place in the boat business is Google. Unless you're a marina or a yacht club, then maybe Yelp. But for me, I know so many of my clients go online to Google to start their search. And at some point, they're going to Google Matt Sellhorst. At some point, they're going to Google the name of the business. And that's where I want to house it. Because not only am I front and center, but Google is where almost everybody searches. And that's going to lift everything else I do up. So that would be my preference. And let me show you, I'm going to give you a strategy, step by step, how to do it. The first thing you do is do an outstanding job. Does everybody here do an outstanding job in their business?
Mostly.
Yeah, most of the time you do. Every now and again you have that situation and just, you know what, nothing works right. Do it the best you can to fix that. But overall, do an outstanding job. Okay, so who here has at least 10 really happy clients? 100? 200? Okay, keep your hand up if anybody's got 200 positive reviews. Reviews, testimonials, videos.
Oh.
Okay, so number 2 and number 3 are going to be awesome. Write this stuff down and go back and do it. So here's what you do first. You take that list of your 100, 200 happiest customers. Everybody that you know had a great experience. and you call them. And you say, what's your name, sir? Kinder. Yeah. Hey, Kinder, this is Matt Sellhorst at Matt's Marine. How you doing, man? You're safe. Great. Hey, how's everything with the boat?
It's awesome.
Awesome. You call and confirm that they're still happy. Things can go south, right? They were happy yesterday, but they took the boat out and, you know, something went terribly wrong. It's a good idea to every couple of months, every quarter, twice a year to call your past clients and just check in with them. Maybe they got a referral, maybe they're ready for an upgrade, maybe they want to sell their boat. Whatever product or service you offer, maybe there's another opportunity. But now that I know that Kinder is happy, I can break this out. Write this down. Hey, Kinder, could you do me a quick favor? Sure. He can't help but say yes because he's happy. I did an outstanding job. I called to confirm he's still happy. And now I ask him for a favor. He can't say no. He's going to say yes 100% of the time. And I know this because I've done it. I've done it for myself. I've done it for clients. Could you go online and leave me a review? Tell your story because so many of my clients go online these days and research us. He says, yeah, no problem. Be glad to do that. I tell you what, don't stop there because he's busy. He's successful. Our clients are all successful. I don't care what you sell in this room, your clients are successful. If you're in the boating industry, they're successful. I'm going to send you an email, Kendra, that's going to walk you through it. Just a couple quick, easy steps. I'll shoot that over to you right now. And then you send this email. And if you give me your business card, I'll shoot this to you so you don't have to write this all down, but I'll read it real quick. Kendra, thanks for the favor. There probably shouldn't be a question mark there. Thanks for the favor. Thanks for agreeing to help us with this quick favor. So many people go online to check us out now. I really appreciate you taking 5 minutes to post your story. It's real easy. Here's the quick 2 steps. Almost exactly the words I said to him, that script that you're going to use. And then step 1. Google changed this. I used to be able to put a link in here that took him directly to Google. And Google is very serious about making sure there's no coercion, there's no gifts being given to solicit positive social proof. So now they have to actually search your site and click on the review now. It looks something like this. When I do this for my clients, I'll do a print screen and put the image of what their Google page looks like. And this is the important part, step number 2. Share your Matt's boating story. If you're not sure what to write, just answer these questions. Remember, we want to make it specific. We want to make it talk about their story. We want to talk about the objections that they overcame. And you just give them 3 or 4 leading questions because people don't know how to lead good social proof. That's why they say, Matt did a great job. We highly recommend it, which is better than nothing. But if you're going to do it, you might as well get as powerful as you can. And now, if you have a negative, where's your negative review? Or were you was that a hypothetical?
Oh, I was just hypothetical. Can you remove them?
Yeah, okay. So if you've got a negative review on Yelp, then what I would do is I would probably use this and get 10 reviews that are positive to push that one down. But I would still use Google as my main repository for my online reviews. Okay? So it kind of depends, but I would pick a main one and use that all the time. If you ever see a negative one come up somewhere else, put a couple on there to soften it. Online reviews are awesome, and they're awesome because you get the credibility of Google behind you. Because it's on Google, it's more believable, it's more credible because everybody knows Google, they know what they stand for, they know that you can't just go out there and play the system, and Google every year is getting more and more strict on that. Now you actually have to log in. Delivery photos.
Can you go back to how Google Maps were you to write a review? We just did his.
We were trying to find the review box.
Did you have to consciously put the review box on your website?
No, there's a link in there. I'll show it to you. On a unless you're logged into Google on an iPad, it doesn't show up. So you've got it, and there was a little note in there. I said you may have to create a Google account. Now, I've done this, and I've had 80-year-old clients figure it out. And well, it's the iPad. If you do it on a PC, it pops right up. Or if you're logged into your Google account, there's a little write a review link that shows up. I'll show it to you offline. More types of social proof. So, if you sell boats, you absolutely have to get your phone out and take a delivery photo. It is the happiest day of the boater's life. I guarantee your phone's in your back pocket or your purse. Take a photo. When I did this with my clients, they would always say, oh, will you send that to me? I want to send that to the kids. I want to send that to our neighbors. They know we're getting the boat today. Or they're excited about it. Now, I disagree with the second half of that statement, that it's, you know, the day you sell it's the happiest day too, but that delivery photo is something that you absolutely need to do. The video. As you're taking that photo, hey, would you do me a quick favor? They're excited because they're just taking delivery of their boat. Would you do me a quick favor? What are they going to say? No, if you did an outstanding job. Could you do a quick video? Now, 70% of the time they're going to say yes. Some people don't want to do video. If you find they're uncomfortable, don't push it. But if you, hey, would you do me a favor? They're going to answer a couple of questions, and after they do it, they'll get more comfortable with it. And I know that. I'll show you. Because I've done it a bunch. I would just walk the docks and interview people. You know, 70% of the time they would say yes. Written testimonials. When I first got started.
Can I add something to the photo?
Yeah.
We got to where we won't send it to the people. We tell them we're going to post it on Facebook. We have to go find it there so they get our site.
Yep.
And then they can share it.
Tag them and share. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I always did written testimonials with all of my deliveries before I figured out that, oh, my people are on Google. I should probably get Google reviews. Took me a while. I'm not that smart. But I did written testimonials. I wrote up their story. Wrote a perfect one at delivery. Hey, after we get done with all the paperwork, read through this. I just put together your story for my wall of fame. They see a bunch of other testimonials on my desk. If it looks good, just sign it. If you want to make any changes, let me know. Had two people. One asked me to take off his address, and one said, "No, I'd rather not sign that." Out of hundreds of boat deliveries, it's another great source. And this stuff's important because what others say about you truly is 10 times more powerful and persuasive than what you say about yourself. I can say all day long that I'm going to take care of you, that I have quality products, that I do great service after the sale, that I'm going to train you. But when my clients say that, it has more impact.
So question on the testimonial. So over the years, I get letters written saying sales was wonderful, thank you, whatever, all these things, and I'll take the pieces out and quote them and put them under the salesman's profile like you do.
Yep.
But I haven't figured a way to put that into social media because it's coming from me, even though it's quoting somebody else. Should I be pasting that to Facebook as someone else's quote? A lot of times I'll just use their initial or say happy boat owner.
Let me show you something real quick, and I'll answer it directly after I show that to you. Okay. This proof page is a concept that I came up with for my coaching clients. I used it towards the tail end when I was selling. But the idea is, I'm going to go to my site. This is what I call a proof page. And so you got Google is your clearinghouse for all your online reviews. Take all of the testimonial, all of the social proof that you have, and put it together in one location on your website. Now, this is what mine says. What do other Carolina boaters have to say about Matt Sellhorst and Matt's Marine? I changed it. I was at Paul Marine, but I changed it because I use this as a template for my coaching clients now. I know it's easy for me to tell you what a great experience you'll have with working with me to buy a boat, but what do my real life clients have to say about their experience? And they scroll down and they see a preponderance of proof. You can see Herb and Ashley Mantell that we looked at. These are all just interviews of happy clients. Now, they're not going to watch all those, but there's a preponderance of proof. Then they go on to my written. This is what my written testimonials look like. To your point, if you put, this is Henry Burrow, you can see I set mine up to scroll. Dr. Joseph McShay, his address, city, state, and zip, first time home or boat buyer, and then it said something else, what lake he voted on. If you put, you did a great job, signed, JM, nobody believes that. Get the client's permission, but put their whole name in there. Put the more specific, the more believable. And you can post it to social media that way. But it's got to be specific. And if you look at the credibility of all these, there's a bunch of credibility pieces. If you get thank you notes, take the picture and put them up there. If you get an email, put it up there. So that just scrolls through a whole bunch of written testimonials.
But you're getting their permission for all that private.
I used a form, and what I use for my coaching clients is a form that says, I agree that you can use this in any format that you want. You can assign usability to other companies, because as a salesperson, I did it for a dealership, so I got the dealerships okay, and I got my permission for me to use it any way I wanted, and got them to sign it. So I was protected, absolutely. Now, if anybody ever asked me to take one down, I never had that happen, but then you just take it down. You know, you don't want to cause it.
Did you put people's email addresses and full mailing addresses up on
Absolutely.
the internet?
Yeah. Why? I never had a single issue. And I mean,
You wouldn't, but they might.
no, but they know I'm doing it. I don't put their email addresses.
You had it up there earlier on.
Well, on that scan. Yeah. It's more believable, and the issue is in your head, not your clients. And I know that because I had 2 people out of hundreds that had an issue with it in real life.
I have a lot of clients that wouldn't even go to Facebook because they don't have Facebook accounts. When you get into real high-end executives,
That's fine.
they're not on Facebook. His wife might be on Facebook,
Mhm.
possibly. But there's no way that executive making 900 grand a year is on.
I could care less about Facebook.
No,
Social media to me is on the list of 1 to 10. Social media is down at like 10 of importance. If you've got everything else right, great. Do some Facebook. If you've got great social proof, fine. Post it to Facebook. But there's a lot of other things that are more important in our industry because they're successful people. A lot of our clients aren't dicking around on Facebook. And I can get more leverage out of sending an email newsletter. I can get more leverage out of having a proof page and spending my time there than I can doing that
What
kind of stuff.
Facebook gets us is, I've got about 2,500 Facebook, which is a lot of big companies, but when we leak something back to a blog post, Google sees that, and that way we've got the first 5 pages of Google because of all that activity. So if somebody puts something bad up, you have to go pretty deep to find it because of the Facebook interaction raises our profile.
Okay.
So it's good for that piece.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, may not be the buyers, but there's a lot of action going back and forth
Mhm.
with photos, Instagram photos going to Facebook, and everybody's circling around,
Yep.
and it keeps us ahead of anybody else.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying there's 9 other things that I want to make sure I've got dialed in before I spend a lot of time with it. And then you take your online reviews and you put them on your site. Now, if you use Google, Google owns those reviews, so you can't take them word for word and put them on as text. But what you can do is do a screen capture and put them on as images, so you can see these scrolling through that are. Oh yeah, good.
Matt, I just wondered how many people actually use LinkedIn in terms of personal recommendations and referrals.
Depends what your business is.
I mean,
If your clients are on LinkedIn
yeah.
and they're going to check. So for me, in my business, I work with business owners. I get a lot of broker clients that I communicate with through LinkedIn. But as a boat sales, I wouldn't spend hardly any time with it. Matter of fact, I didn't spend any time with it because there's other avenues that I think are more productive. But it all depends on where your clients reside.
So can you clarify what you just said, that Google owns the Google reviews, but you can take a screenshot of it?
Yep. So if you remember Gene saying that when there was a blog post that somebody took it word for word and put it on their site, that the original company got the credit for it and they got dinged.
Oh, yeah.
So Google says, no, that's our content, and you have it on your site as content. We can't have that. And so they may be as extensive at shutting down your Google account and your business profile. I haven't heard of that happening in our industry, but I've heard it happen in previous or other industries. But if you do a screen capture and just make it into an image, now it's different content. If that makes sense. And then your delivery photos. So on this single page, we've got videos, we've got written testimonials, you've got your online reviews, and you've got your delivery photos. And when I say delivery photos, it can be any photo of your client using your product. So one of the things I did is I asked, hey, send me a picture of the kids tubing. Send me a picture of you out on 4th of July with the fireworks. Send me your pictures. I did photo contests. and you'll see there was a dog photo contest that I did, so awesome, the sunset photo contest. And now you're selling the lifestyle of boating, and it's that preponderance of proof. Man, this company, this salesperson helped that many people, and look at how happy they are. Look at all the great things that they're having to say about their experience.
You just calling that testimonials? You got any creative names for what to call that page?
This page,
I know we're calling it proof, but that's not.
I call it either testimonials or boater stories. And here's the key, and we'll go to it next. Once you have that preponderance of proof built, you want to direct everybody to it. So you can do that in links in your newsletter. You can put that on your signature line. One of the PSs that I teach my clients to use is PS. See what, and there's a formula that I use, see what some of the 280,000 happy clients that we've served since 1802 have to say about Max Marine. So you can use that formula for your business. How many people have you served? When did you get in business? And now you get the credibility of you've been in business since 1902. You've served 13,000 clients, and then you link to this page. And at some point, if they're evaluating you, if they get to that evaluator stage or the now buyer stage, they're going to click on it, and they're going to see that information. And you make sure that they see it. Anybody that comes in contact with you. So, do you guys think that social proof will help you sell more? Can you see how this would apply to your business? I promise you, it makes the sales easier. And certainly more profitable because you have less price resistance. When their confidence is so high, the price resistance is way down. But avoid this thought. No thanks. We're too busy. It takes some time. It takes some time to put all this together. It takes some time to, if you got 100 happy clients, yourself, hire a virtual assistant to do it, get a staff member to start calling. When you get home to your offices, start calling, hey, everything's still going good? Great, can you do me a favor? And then follow up with that email. So here's the action items for you. Do an honest reputation audit. Put it on your calendar to do weekly. Google the business name, Google especially as you brokers, Google your personal name, or set up the Google alerts, but you still kind of have to go out there and check those reviews for something that sneak up on you. Address the negative ones. Deliver an exceptional experience. If you do that, all this other stuff works so much better. If you do a crappy job, you don't really deserve positive social proof. But if you do a great job, and people that come to educational things like this, they come because they want to do an even better job. They want to be more successful. So you've already got that down. And then gather that preponderance of proof. Just start stacking it on. And think about how many boats do you sell a year?
There's 2011 for this year.
Okay, well, how many did you sell in 2011?
2011 was a good year.
Okay, how many are you going to sell this year?
25, 26.
Okay, so let's say you average 20 a year. After 5 years, you've got the opportunity to have easily 100 pieces of social proof. Because you get the testimonial delivery, and then 2 years later, when you see them on the docks, now you get a video. So you can get multiple pieces. And if you're happy, and if your clients are happy, and you stay in touch with them, they're more than willing. One of my clients was a video guy for a news station. So he came out for a weekend, and I called 20 clients, and I got 12 to come out at scheduled interviews, like every half hour, to do videos. So that 20 or 30 videos you saw, half of those were gotten in a single weekend from clients that I'd worked with years ago that had done the written testimonials, and then they did the video. And then I went back to my even happiest ones and said, would you do an online review? And if you have great relationships, they're more than willing to help. It's in your head as to why, that's too much. I'm being too intrusive. I shouldn't put out their address on the web. But you know what? You can find anybody's address. If you get it out of your head, it really does make a difference. And then create that proof page. Having all this social proof tucked into a file cabinet, all your thank you notes tucked into a file cabinet or pinned onto a cork board in your showroom. Take a picture of it, get it online, get it where everybody can see it, and then direct everybody to it. Don't just have it there and hope they find it. Make sure that every single person that comes through your sales funnel has an opportunity to see it, and then keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. And it makes a world of difference, because what other people say about you is truly 10 times more powerful than what you say about you. So no matter how good of a salesperson you are, by using this technique, by putting this in your business, it will truly impact. All right. I'll do this real quick. Anybody know what these are? Horses. Firing line came in second place by 1/5 of a second. 1/5 of a second. Do you know what the difference in prize money between first and second was? Any guesses? Just over $1 million. 1/5 of a second cost that owner $1 million. It's that. Yeah, and I mean, and American Pharoah, who knows how much more? That's just the prize money from the race, but winning the Triple Crown, it's that slight edge. 1/5 of a second cost $1 million. It's that slight edge. And social proof can be your slight edge. But again, don't get too busy. Oh, we're too busy. We're too busy to do it. I love this cartoon. I saw that and it made me laugh. So take advantage of these action steps and gain your slight edge. Put them together and put it in use. Thank y'all. You got questions?
How much is the book?
Oh, the book is $10 in your business card.
I'm going to sell mine if it was more, but.
I'm sorry, yeah. I'll sign it for you, and it'll be worth $10.50. That's about it.
So how do I get my salespeople
To do it.
to buy it?
It's difficult. Yeah, it's what you need to do is share some of this information. Ask them how they go through their buying process when they're making a major purchase. Some of them are getting it, some of them aren't. But you can make it mandatory. Listen, you don't get paid until we get some form of social proof on 80% of your customers. You can do it on a bonus structure. Every piece of social proof you get X dollar amounts, or you gather 10 pieces of social proof and you get $100. Well, I don't know what are you a broker? That's
I'm with manufacturer.
you're the manufacturer. As a manufacturer, if you talk to your dealers, I would say, listen, what's going to happen is when you tell us who you sold a boat to, we're going to be the ones to call and make sure you did a good job. And we're going to be the ones to reach out for that social proof on your behalf. And you want to get it put probably in the dealer's Google. You can do a contest and have the clients do it for them. So do a video contest of whoever submits the best video wins this prize, and you run it for a 6-month period, and all of your past owners have the opportunity to make a positive video. Because all that negative stuff can be done on the positive side too. Do a contest to ask for social proof and just start gathering it. Yeah, some way you've got to come up, because the salespeople that are in this room get it. The salespeople that aren't in this room, that would sit through here and complain that I'm wasting time, I could be selling, well, you're going to have a harder time convincing them. So you've got to put some sort of, yeah, coin operated is what works for a lot. You got to go ahead.
Well, I had a question on the names and addresses, and maybe because we're a national group. We've always asked people if we can use them, but we don't want to identify their last name. That has given them a comfort. So it might be Mike T. Annapolis, Maryland.
It's less believable.
It is less believable, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
But it's
not
still-
comfortable
it's
with
in there.
last names.
Yeah,
If there's
it's,
100 of them, though,
here's the thing.
Model and boat name in there,
It's
starting to build believability.
Yeah. Do what you feel is right. Don't make the decision on your client's behalf.
Right.
And it's, if you present it with, hey, would you sign this? I put your name and address in there. I hope that's okay. Oh, why wouldn't that be okay? Maybe there's something wrong with that. Versus, hey, here's your story. I put it together for all of my clients, and one of the forms that they signed was you can use this, and I clearly talk. I don't hide anything because otherwise I don't have outstanding experience. Does that look good? One dentist said, please take my address off because I think it's bragging. And one person said, I'd rather not. You saw as it was scrolling through. So and a $200 boat I sold and a $600,000 was the largest one I sold in my area. Got testimonials from both of them, and neither one of them had issues. So I see where you're coming from. Just understand if you make that decision, it's less believable.
Right.
It's still good. It's still good, but it's less believable. So video, you can do video and not have to worry about that because video is believable because it's video. So I didn't ever ask too many my clients on a video what their address was.
Right.
So that may be a way to get around it. You're comfortable, and but I would not make that decision for your clients.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You don't think you should be consistent? So some have names, some don't, all that kind of stuff.
if you've got a whole bunch of them, here's the thing: is they're not. There's a couple benefits to having it, and that is if I see a Charlotte, North Carolina, and I recognize the street name, I feel like they're more closely, or they're in my neighborhood. That's more powerful. I didn't talk about that aspect of it. That's more. Yeah. So if somebody my age, if a 40-year-old white guy that dresses like me, acts like me, and lives in my area has an opinion, that's more valuable than a 90-year-old, Hispanic. I don't have a lot of connection with them, so the address works that way. But as far as the consistency goes, they're not saying, well, 5 of them have addresses and 5 of them don't. What's going on here? They're not evaluating it that way, but they look at the address and they say, oh, they're close to me, and it's more impactful. So,
Put the boat model, the boat name.
boat model, that's a great way to go.
The
Yeah.
boat name
Yeah.
definitely puts.
Maybe instead of the address, it's the marina or their port. Come up with the more the better. The more that they can't say your mom did this, the more powerful it will be. So you got to do what works for your business. So anything else? You guys gonna go home and do this?
Absolutely.
I would love to. If you create a proof page, I would love for you to email it to me and take a look. I would love to see. I'd love to see what I teach in action because I like to follow up and see how well it's working for you. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.